Yes, 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 yes. We are back. We are back live. We are back live with another fresh episode of Fresh Mike. Man, we gotta celebrate when the Knicks win, man. We gotta celebrate when the Knicks win. They gave us a win last night, and not only did they give us a win, but it's the kind of win that we needed this time of the season. If you're a Knicks supporter, you understand it's not so much about wins and losses as much as it's about how you win or lose this time of year. Um, Welcome back, everybody. Crush Mikes, I'm your host, Corey Buckets, the host with the most, aka Mr. Nix, aka Mr. Hits, aka enough AKAs. But yeah, man, Knicks won last night. A valiant effort against the Atlanta Hawks. Some people might say, hey, it's the Atlanta Hawks. They're just now getting together. Listen, if you watched that game last night, Nikhil Walker Alexander was playing like his first name was Shay, and he was in the chip, and his whole family was on the line. His freedom was on the line. He was giving us Kobe Mamba Freedom court dates in Denver game. He was going crazy out there. Brunson, beginning of the game, couldn't hit the side of a barn. Carl Anthony Towns was holding it down. Wingstop was getting cooked in barbecue, but they held it down when they needed to. And that's what really matters. At the end of the day, the New York Knicks were able to outlast the Atlanta Hawks. You had a last minute prayer heave from CJ McCollum from half court that could have sent the game into overtime that was waved off at the end of regulation. Thank God. No little Boosie swag surfing due to that. So we happy about that, man. And the captain got it together in the fourth quarter. He went crazy. I believe he had 17 or 18 in the fourth quarter and just showed you last night what could happen when essentially we play a more versatile style of game where you tighten the rotation. Um, the guys that are in are the guys that are most impactful on different parts, whether it's um, Cat with the rebound, Mitchell coming in almost a double double, 8 and 12 in 20 minutes. I think he had 3 blocks, 2 steals. Um, just an amazing effort. Um, you just can't underestimate and take for granted what they were able to do last night. You saw the pick and roll with Brunson and Cat last night. It looked beautiful. It looked beautiful, and it looked like something that we will see in the playoffs. Jessero during the last episode said something very insightful that literally, um, like a bulb went off when he said it because I never thought about this. He said that the Knicks had a plan to try every single possible lineup, play every single person that was on the roster this year to see what they genuinely had and what they had in different slots and different instances. And I think if I watched the season with that in mind, my whole premise of the season would have been different originally. But I didn't watch the season with that in mind, and I just kept on thinking, why would you do this instead of doing this? Why would you? And then the concept of not showing all your looks throughout the regular season. So then when you hit the playoffs, you can do things that teams don't necessarily predict. That's a school of thinking that I've never seen execution at that level. So if this does pan out, Mike Brown, listen, if this pans out, we will go from Mike, we can't get down to Mike. We'll have no choice but to give you a round of applause. We will have no choice because at that juncture, you would have executed in a way that I don't think I've ever seen in professional sports where a team really doesn't show you what they really can do during the regular season in terms of their plans offensively and defensively, but they run ancillary things to kind of throw you off for you to plan for those things and then come into the playoffs and do something different. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I hope I'm not giving him a credit for a level of genius where he's not at, and then, putting expectations there that are not there. But I do believe, I do believe, based upon some of the things that we've seen, that this is possible. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. I was highly impressed with that win last night. Highly impressed with that win last night. We can definitely build on that. We can definitely build on that. There's a lot of things going down though. The end of this NBA season, we're not going to nick it out this morning because we got to win. There's not much to talk about past the win. I think when you lose, it's much more to talk about after a loss because we got a lot of things to build on, and we got a lot of things to do to make the team run like a well-running machine. I was gonna say something else, and that was gonna be crazy. Um, but we got enough to make the team run the way it needs to run right now. I think it's just more so just pulling up every game in execution, man. But the NBA is going crazy. Going crazy. This 65 game rule is gonna make it so that, listen, man, Tyler Kolek might get MVP at this point. Like we gotta chill with the 65. Like, I get it. You don't want to have a player who averaged like 40 and 20 and 10, but he played like 10 games and everybody's like, well, that was the best player within those 10 games, so they should get MVP. Nobody has better stats. I get it. We don't want that. That we don't want. But at this point, Victor Wembanyama has gotten hurt again. It looks like he's pretty day to day with his injuries. So we look at it and we say he's day to day with his injuries. Um, what he suffered a rib contusion, they said, against the 76ers the other night. Um, Putting his chances for the MVP in jeopardy. We got Anthony Edwards from the Minnesota Timberwolves, who is fighting and nursing a knee injury. Listen, man, that's something to watch on a sidebar. Anthony Edwards' knee issue is something of concern to watch. When you consider how young he is and how injuries like that, when you say your knees, your ankles, anything that really is part of a player's athletic um build that make that player explosive. Wow, crazy pause. Um, Make that player, very athletic, elusive, adds to their agility. You have to watch for those injuries because that can literally turn the player into a different player. The positive thing about Ant is that he already started predicating his game more so on shooting the jump shot, the midi, the fadeaway, and things like that. So should he sustain an injury that takes some level of his athleticism away, like a knee injury where he has to get surgery for this, he should still be a very solid NBA player. The issue is that he oftentimes players just don't reach that full potential. Where you see they had this athleticism, and let's say they got a good 12 points based upon that athleticism, and that athleticism erodes or whatever the case may be. And now they no longer have those attributes or abilities to be as athletic as they once were. That often turns into a different player. So I'm hoping that that's not what happens with Anthony Edwards, but yeah, he's in that cusp of that 65 game of possibly not getting the postseason reward. So it's not just about MVP, it's about the postseason, like you being all NBA first team. All these are contract tickers for a lot of the athletes. A lot of the players have these achievements in their contracts as tickers for more money, bonuses, and all kinds of things. So it greatly hurts players when they don't make the all NBA first team, when they don't get MVP when that was one of their goals. It hurts. So I'm hoping that the NBA can revamp this and it becomes more of a I don't want to say I don't know if there should be a greater consideration to me taking to account for um just the I guess the nature of the injury and how consistently that player was hurt throughout the span of critique or the span in which you're calculating the stats. I think that that should be taken into consideration and not just a percentage. Like, for example, how often were you out within the span of a month? Each month, when they look at each month and you tally it up, you say, how often was Victor out in the month of in this month versus these players? I think we might get a different take on it if we do it like that as opposed to just a percentage. You were out 75% of the games or 60. It's kind of difficult. And you're going to have a lot of players due to the way the games played, the fact that they don't practice that often anymore. Um, it's a faster paced game. Like it's not even an argument. If you look it up, it's a faster paced game, a higher scoring pace game now than what we used to in the past. So a lot of guys, let's just be real, they're not properly stretching. They don't play as much as they used to, and guys are just getting hurt. We just got to be. Luka Doncic, he's out. Who knows how long he'll be out? He's gonna miss that 65 game threshold as well. So it is definitely um something to talk about. It is definitely something to talk about within the NBA as to what they're going to do with that because just eliminating players off of that it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. Moving on in the NBA news. Apparently Shaquille O'Neal is starting a dunk league with TNT. Where they're gonna have these slammers from all over and 24 dunkers worldwide, and it's a $500,000 prize, a global professional dunk league. I'm gonna tell you what, Shaq. I applaud the effort, and I think I see where it is. It's a money grab for you. Well, we don't like this. We don't like this. We don't want a league of dunking. You and Tracy McGrady, I get it. He's trying to do the one-on-one league. this stuff is not entertaining enough to oversaturate it and just do that all the time. Who the heck wants to tune in and watch dunks all the time? Like, that's just not gonna work. That's not that's a good but bad idea. We have to figure out how to get the dunking from professional athletes so we can see it on a grand stage that highlights what they do. We're talking about the NBA, not making a total separate league like they're doing with like one-on-ones and that. It's supposed to be marketed better to me to pitch it to the NBA to get them to do other things with these things. I get it, Shaq, but it's a money grab. But I don't like it. I'm not. I'm gonna go hold you. I don't like it. 24 dunkers globally for 500,000. It's a league, and you. So that means you going to go through, bust your ACLs, your knees, and everything, potentially practicing to do this. All the strength that's going to go through on your body to practice these dunks. And then it's just one prize for 500,000. Oh my God. Are you talking about exploiting people and not, no, we don't like that. We don't like that. We don't like that. Like, we don't like that at all. I'm not even gonna lie. We don't like that. But there are a lot of things that you could be doing, Shaq, that we wouldn't approve of either that you're not doing. So we appreciate that you're still in the game and you're bringing something to it. But that dunk league, that ain't it. That ain't it. But that's all we have for the morning show. We will definitely be on live, me and Jessero, and we got some great things to discuss. It's a whole lot of developments of things that have been going on throughout the hip hop culture, and we got a whole segment that we have planned, the Hip Hop Olympics, where we're going to be spanning who is the greatest hip hop rapper from. We're gonna take the time span of the 80s. We're not gonna go to the 60s, 70s. We're gonna go from the 80s all the way to now and see what era had the best MCs, what era had the best rappers. We're gonna narrow it down and get down to the nitty-gritty. That's gonna be a great segment. We got some coverage on the playoffs pulling up. We got a few interesting things developing in hip hop. Offset, this little TJ thing is going crazy. That's kind of crazy, man. I hope they're all right, man. At the end of the day, we don't get into the weeds of what happens and why what happens or who it happens to specifically. Um, we just say if it's somebody in the community, we hope they can get it together and do what we know you for, man. But listen, man, we appreciate y'all time. Appreciate y'all time. To the next episode, man. Make sure y'all stay beaming.
Some violent content. Parental discretion is advised.